My name is Kershay Whitaker,
And my name is Mary Jackson.
and the reason I love modeling is because it gives you freedom of expression, and I've always been into fashion, and modeling is my outlet.
Modeling for me was actually just giving to me. I didn't choose it, but I'm more than honored, especially for Deshar. I am the face for his plus size modeling, and we've got a lot of great feedback for it, and I'm extremely excited for all the ventures that's about to take place.
It's a birthday. It's my birthday though. It's my birthday though. It's my birthday though. Come and show me love. It's my birthday though. It's my birthday though. It's my birthday though. Come and show me love. Woke up ready. It's my birthday. Yeah, I'm talking heavy. Cause it's my birthday. I'm looking way too good. It's my birthday. But you knew I would.
Well, because I turned 40 in March, and I'm a criminal justice student, and now I'm a model for Deshar. It's never too late to do whatever it is you want to do. I'm a radio personality. I'm married. I have 3 sons. I'm in school. I got a full-time job, and I model. Whatever it is you want to do, go for it. Sky's the limit.
What made you wanted to get into radio?
So actually I didn't, just like when we spoke before about, it was something that me and Pierre had a conversation. 2016, was trying to start a clothing line, Thick Girls Is Fly. Pierre seen me, he told me about the station he was going to start, to come sit with him. We was on a morning meeting one day, I was in the loft, and they were a little bit risque. A gentleman in the comments said, y'all need something for late night. And I wanted it to be Twin 1 and Twin 2. I'm like, who is that? You and Nav. I'm game, I'm open for anything. That was the first show. I posted it today. That was November the 2nd, 2017. And we've been popping ever since.
Boom.
This ain't my first time with Amanda, honey.
I remember you ripping the runway, coming in the studio, wearing your train. I was like, she better walk the walk, and he was like, I'm not used to this.
I hear you.
I ain't really want to do
ask for this, but that's what they said it was my time. So I'm like, all right, I'm a model. All right, I'm a radio personality. All right, I'm a CEO. Like, okay, this is what it is. So
Tomorrow we might actress.
Yeah, you never know. Just don't never say never.
That is
ever
true.
say ever. No.
And that is exactly your motto this year.
It is. It was when we sat down for parental advisory, and I said, I'm 40, married, criminal justice student. I had TGIF. I gave up on TGIF, and TGIF is back. Like, so never say never.
Full force.
Yeah.
So talk to us. What is TGIF?
So TGIF is Thick Girls Is Fly. It is improper English. I get it. It should say R. But I like the acronym TGIF.
Because that's right here, right now, current.
Everybody
It is.
loves fighting. They gonna love thick girls too. So this is what it is.
Awesome. So I know that it's more of a rebirth
Yes.
with TGIF.
Yes.
But what was the concept when you started it?
So initially with TGIF, it was for my love of T-shirts, graphic tees. So if you ever follow me for however, everybody that make things in Chester, I've utilized. I want something different. I am not like everybody else. I'm in love with T-shirts, graphic tees. My husband says, do your own. Have your own. And I'm like, okay. Shoot the text to a couple of my girlfriends. They like, you can't have a brand if it looks like an iron-on. You can't. I was like, they don't support it. Like, and I cried. And he was like, no, we're doing it. I tried. Again, I'm not popular. It didn't do so well. My confidence wasn't well. So then she kind of died down. She did all right. And then for some reason this year, after 40 with everything else, and then listening to Lizzo, Tempo, it was like, oh, I'm doing it. And either they going to ride with it or they not. And I'm going to be okay with it at this point. But she not going nowhere. TGIF is around, and we around.
Awesome. Well, you just had your photo shoot.
The photo shoot wasn't mine yet. TGIF still has to launch. We haven't yet. However, I have been collaborating with a lot of thick women, BBWs, and they are out here. And when they tag me, and I'm like, I'm there. Like, who am I to say no? So yeah, I did it with Shar. It's a pretty big deal. Is the name of her situation. And I was more than flattered. Me and Riri did it, which she has a line too. So I don't, like I said, I don't see competition with my sisters. Like, I legit embrace them. I tag them in, they tag me in, and it's been a beautiful thing.
And it's awesome because you said you like now. Look, other people see it,
They do.
and at the end of the day, each of you have your own group of people that
And
you
our
can
view is
relate to.
different. Yeah.
So
different.
it's definitely needed the support, and that's the awesome thing I like about that because y'all all come together.
Guess what? And a lot of us don't know each other. And we literally don't meet until, like, Tim did the first photo shoot that we did that time when they did wear TGIF. That wasn't my photo shoot. These sisters supported, and it came together, and I didn't even know them. For the pretty big deal, don't know all them sisters. They came together for her vision. And it's just, and they literally, and now we're in group chats. They inspire each other. A lot of them are out of their comfort zone. And it's really, and you'd be surprised how many people say they are inspired by plus size women, bigger women being confident and coming up like, we're not going nowhere. Like this, we're not hiding no more. Like, no. I'm cropping everything half top. I'm keeping it clean today, but you know, I'm wearing my belly out, and if you don't like it, then look the other way.
Ain't that the truth?
It
You
is
ain't
what
gotta
it
look.
is.
You ain't gotta look.
You don't have to.
But kudos to you because a lot of the, like you're stating that these weren't your events, but you promoted them like yours.
Always, and I'm going to continue to because they tagged me in. So if you tag me in, that means you seen something in me to why we should collaborate together. Because again, they my sisters. I see collaborations. I don't see no competition. So when I say sis, because I got something different, you got something different. Together, it can be a whole situation. Like, why do we have to compete with each other?
We don't have
we
to.
have different views. We come together and look, and they hate it. They hate these confident big women, right?
Listen, they don't like it because they want control. Like you know, when you get confidence,
No,
you don't have
it's
control.
different. Yeah, it's different. When you got confidence, and that's another thing, because let's be clear, I almost got the surgery twice. Like, my story is, like, different, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, what would I look like as a size 4? My smallest size was a 14. It's not for me. I'm not doing it. So either I'm going to go to the gym, and if it's not health risking, I ain't doing it. So I'm all right. So then I have to embrace me. I have to become okay with me. And now that I am, that cocky versus confident hashtag that I got, my confidence is through the roof now. Like, I seen bashing on us on social media. That's the stuff I already been through. You can't do that to me no more because I've been through that. Say something I don't know because at this point, it's like.
I heard it all.
I heard it. That don't. Okay, I'm that, and now what else? What
else
about
you
the
got?
positive things? You're not going to look at that. You're just going to be like, oh, you're big. You're all right. I don't have diabetes. I'm not dying. You forgot to say I was cute. You forgot all that.
Big
but
and beautiful. Is that where we're going with
I mean,
that?
they don't want to admit it, but it's okay because I'm okay with it. So we at that point now. So.
And I think the issue too is that when people see people with confidence, they have a problem with it.
They do.
So they try to knock it down.
Because of their own insecurities, though. So what you need to do actually is address your insecurities. Because what I learned also, because I follow a lot of different celebrities and the Red Talk conversations, you didn't earn nothing by breaking me down. It didn't get you more money. It didn't get you a bigger car. It did nothing for you. If it doesn't continuously have a level up in it for me, I ain't doing it. There's no need to hate on you because it's not going to do nothing for me to hate on you. So once I've learned that, because don't get it twisted, I was young before. I was in those catty situations. You learn, you know better, you do better, and that should be the end of your story.
Listen, hater, what have you earned by hating? 'Cause
That's it.
I want to know, is it money in it?
Did they pay you to hate on me? Did they, you was trolling me on social media? Did you get a check for that? I mean, if you earned a coin, I get it, because that's what it comes down to for people is the dollar. But if you got nothing but to feel better about you,
What's the point?
Because you still you.
So now you like, I feel sorry for you, so I'm going to move on.
Right.
I'm going to scroll past you.
I'm going to keep posting these pictures that upset you. And
Maybe you'll see the bright side someday, but I ain't got time to teach you.
Can't teach it to you.
With all that you've been doing, all that you've been going through, to get to this point where you're confident in yourself, think about that moment, this moment. And there's a young lady who's not quite confident, and she's struggling with building up her confidence. And the haters are in her mailbox, and she's feeling some type of way. She's not seeing the positive. She's only seeing that, and she's stuck a little bit. What would your words of encouragement be to her?
My words of encouragement would be to look at yourself in the mirror and see if you like what you see when you look at yourself. If you don't, whatever changes you feel you need to make for you, then you make them. If you making them for other people, it's pointless, especially if they're people that don't mean anything to you. You don't know them personally. They have no value to your life. They're not a supporter of anything you're doing. It's not that validation is not what you needed from these dumb people. It's from yourself and then the people that do support you, that do love you. And I have that, you know what I mean? So once I became okay with my mom, my sister, my husband, they always, you're, and I didn't see it. But once I did look in the mirror and you feel a little crazy, you looking at yourself and you just like, I'm a dope person. Like, even if it's just not all physical, you just know your mental, your conversation is heavy. Like, your beauty can die down, but if people can see your decentness inside, that's going to live long. And it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. So stay up, sis. You're going to be
Stay
all right.
up.
Stay up.
So on that note, unless it's for my parking, I don't need you to validate nothing.
That's it. And if the validation ain't free, I don't even need you to do
Listen,
that.
if I'm not getting no discount for that
'cause,
validation,
yeah,
I
I'm
don't
about
need you to
saving
validate.
$1. Yeah, other than that, validation ain't needed, wanted. It don't even much matter. Like, when somebody tell me I inspired them or I did something for them, I'm like, that's decent. Like, I feel better that much. But I'm like, I ain't nobody. Like, I'm just who I am and I get up and I do me regular. And if that make you feel better about yourself, I'm like, you did
That's a
something.
bonus.
That's a super bonus. My only job right now to motivate and inspire was my sons and my kids. You know what I mean? Them 4 people that look at me regularly at home. When a grown woman like, yo, I can honestly tell you, I'm like, that's decent. And I'm here for it. Like, I don't think I'm better than nobody. I have my own issues or, you know, I'm regular like everybody else, but you can't take that. You can't take what I have for me, inside of me. You can't. It's been broken down. It's already been done.
Been
You
there,
can't do it no
done
more.
that.
Yeah. This is Mary Jackson, CEO of Fit Girls Is Fly, and you are watching Chester View.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in. It's your girl Amanda Johnson. I am here with the fabulous Mary. Say hello to the people.
Hello, everybody.
So Mary, I have to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. She's flying all over the place,
my
up and
goodness.
down the highway. But
Busy.
I asked Mary to come and join us today because she is on an amazing journey. She jumped on that train about 2 years ago and didn't look back. And the first thing that I remember is when I first interviewed you and you were talking about your comfort zone. And you were like, this is totally out of my comfort zone. And then the next thing you know, she's in another magazine. She's on another runway. She's having the sash. I'm like, I am so excited. So I said I had to get her in here to
Thank
just talk
you.
about her journey. But before we talk about her fashion journey, I really want us to kind of talk about that comfort zone, because I know that a lot of people start but they don't finish.
Yeah.
And you pushed past that. So from the first time we talked, you were doing basically a runway with the
Yes.
Shar in New
With the
York.
young lady, yes.
And that's kind of how you kind of got to the door. And you kind of just got pushed through it and you
Yeah.
never looked back.
And that was it.
But how, I'm thinking of a car. If you think of a car,
Okay.
in all the moving pieces. So I guess the steering wheel would be like our mind, where you can shift and change your mind. And family would be like the wheels that keep you moving. And your circle would be like the gasoline that goes in. Let's talk about those parts
Okay.
that help you keep moving forward. So in your words, what were some of the things that kept you moving when you know you was like, okay, I'm done, or I'm ready to go do something different?
Then I guess those would be the wheels, if that's a family part, right? Because, okay, of course, now we're in COVID. I'm home all day long with the 12-year-old. So when I'm ready to stop, it's him in my ear like, you can't. And I'm like out of the mouths of babes all the time. Because I'm like, what you mean I can't? Like, I'm like, this is stressful. I'm already, okay, so contrary to belief, because now what I am doing, I'm a little shy. Someone noticed it at the parental advisory party when y'all had like the camera, and I was cool for a while, and then they was like, you just was like, I'm like, yeah, because too much. It's too much for me. I'm like, all right, go somewhere else now at this point. But it's like, if they're not constantly like, Mom, like, they're proud of it. So then it's like, okay, I don't want to let them down. But I am not that person. It's hard to be like, I'm not that person, and then like being that person, because then I was talking to a young lady the other day, and she was like, but you're so humble. And I'm like, because like, how else do you be? Like, I don't know how to be that other type of person. So, but yes, the wheels keeps me going. The steering wheel, Jesus took the wheel, and that's just it.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yes, it's so exciting. Of course, a lot of ups and downs, but here we are.
So when you, because I know that sometimes when you don't have that voice, because I know sometimes, you know, you hear that voice, okay, I could keep going, I could keep going. What were some of the things that you would say to yourself? What were some of the things that you picked up along the way that kind of keeps you fueled, that you would have to look in the mirror and say to yourself?
That I have to keep doing it. Ironically, was what I posted about yesterday, that these are things that me and my grandmother talked about. And I lost her in 2018, the month before I did my first shoot. So it's like her voice knowing like, come on, big baby, like, you always made these big goals, even though I told you not to. Because she'll say, set littler ones so you won't be disappointed. But you want to set these big ones and then shoot for them. So I always, when it's just me and my tears and I'll hear her voice and be like, you know what, she would want me to keep doing this. And that's kept me to keep doing it at this point too. So.
Yeah, you gotta keep going. And because that's the difference between actually reaching a goal. Because a lot of people are setting goals.
Yes.
But it's always something to push you over to make that difference. Mm-hmm. So were there certain things in your journey when you first started saying, okay, I'm going to do it, but then was there a certain moment that you said, no, I can do this? Because I know that's something that's always saying what we can't do in the back of our minds for some reason, something always behind us saying what we can't do, whether it be a person. But think about one of them moments, it's like, wait a minute, I can do this. What was one of those moments like for you?
It's now that I guess would be the gas part. My like being a part of a pretty big deal, or we're in group chats every day. Because sometimes you like, why me? Right? And then the other times you have to be like, after you be like, you know what, why not me? You know what I mean? Like, no, I didn't set for this part of what's going on, but why not? So it's like, I'm doing it. Like, here we are. So, yeah, being a part of other women, as I told you before, that uplift, like things that's not mine, but I'm promoting it like it's mine. I'm being a part of it like it's mine. That does it for me. So it's like, why not? Like, we here, we can all do it. We don't get nothing from hating on each other. Let's motivate each other and push each other through it, and it works. It really works, because we all have our days.
That is true.
We all have our days. Not even like you saying, not just the naysayers, but just how you feel and just with other life stuff going on. It's like, you know what, I don't have the energy today. Tuesday before I did the Zoom meeting with the other queen, I just was in an emotional breakdown. And you got to shake all that off and forget that and be like, it's go time. I'm not a robot. This can't just keep happening like this. But it's happening, and it's working. Right now, it's working. These 2 years been crazy. Like,
it's amazing.
It is. I really look at the videos that we sit down. I'm like, I'm not doing this. I started this. I stopped this. And what I've realized, though, with everything is don't stop no more. Because you could have been this much further if you would have kept going. So the only regret I have is ever stopping at anything. And that I'm glad that the issue with Torrid that had me not wanting to model no more, that just wasn't for me. So when Rashad saw what he saw in me, it's like, okay, this is for me, but just not with them. You got to look at it at that. This ain't for you, but that don't mean something else ain't for you.
And we got to think about that sometimes, because there are times where I know what I need to do, but I'm not supposed to do it that way.
Yep.
And sometimes we just have to be okay with that, because sometimes you make a connection because they're doing something that you know that's in you, but that might not be the connection. And that's the thing,
For
we're
you,
all
yeah.
connected, but we're not all directly linked together.
Absolutely.
You can still be a part of the chain.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
that may mean our link is not directly connected.
Absolutely. And I found that across my mission as well. You know, a lot of things you've connected and you not fall apart, but just relink, like you said, somewhere else down the line, because this isn't the link where I'm supposed to be. And when you're supposed to be there, it'll be what it's supposed to be, just not the way you want it to be. And that's when I realized that my steps ain't ordered by me. I'm like, all right, God, this is what it is. Like, I'm not the most holier than thou person, but I'm like, I know that I can have my plan and write my plan down, but the way he had things ordered for me to go the way it is, that's the way it's got to be. And that's the way I've been letting it be. I'm like, oh, this is this is happening. All right, this is happening. This is
Look,
what
all
it
right,
is.
we moving. Okay,
Yeah,
let's go.
long as we still moving, that's the good thing. Long as we still moving, like, all right, I'm game. I mean, worst thing that can happen is it don't go well. You can say you did it, you have your experience, and you made more connections. That sound like more wins to me than losses. So
I know that. And
it still works.
You get an experience too.
The experience is always a great thing as well. So that and the lesson that come along with it.
And that's the thing, is like a lot of times, I know with me personally, that I've learned that sometimes for this particular issue was not the win, it was the lesson.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we get so caught up in the win, but this season wasn't about winning, it was about learning. But can we be okay with that?
You have to be. Because everything almost daily is a learning situation anyway. You're not going to win all the time. And I used to have to tell my son that at football, you lost this game, but you didn't lose. You learned. You got to decide which L you're going to take. It should be the lesson.
Say that again!
It's always just the W's and the L's, right? And I'm like, the L's can be one or two things. So which L you want to choose for it to be? You lost the game, but you learned more than you lost just in that game. And then when I say it to him and he think about it, because he's intelligent to be a little guy, so he know that he gets it. And then I have to remember that with myself. Like, I want to fight because this shouldn't have went that way. But the lesson I learned out of it is better than the loss I might have took with it. So
That's going to preach right there. Which L you going to take? You got to be okay with the L. Whether it's a loss or a lesson, it's really up to you how you take it.
It is.
So if you want to have the tantrums, and then you took the L. But if you want to learn from it and grow from it,
and that's exactly that.
And that's only going to make you better.
Absolutely. The way you walk away from certain situations shows a lot about you. It says a lot about your character. And when you look back on it, you see your growth through it too. I swear the growth I've seen in myself, I mean daily, but just within these 2 years, I'm like, life after 40 has definitely been for me. It's been for me. I'm like, I can't complain. I mean, I can about my knees and stuff, but ain't no need. That's something small. That's why I said, them heels not today, sis. We're going to put some sneakers on. Just had shoes on. I'm like, I got dressed on Tuesday for the Zoom. I'm like, oh, Mom, y'all know cute like this on a Tuesday. My kids is like, where is you going? Then people see me Thursday after the shoot and was like, well, hey, Em, what are you doing? Girl, I was busy.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This segment, I'm going to be introducing her as Miss Fashion Global, the current Miss Fashion Global. Yay! So again, when I first interviewed you, you were talking about these heels is getting on my nerves.
Honey,
I remember that day you was like, these heels is
enough is enough.
Working.
Enough is enough.
But now, through multiple heels, multiple dresses, multiple photo shoots, let's walk through that. Just kind of take us on that 2-year journey, you've done so much, but just the highlights.
That just gave me chills.
Just the highlights of your fashion journey.
The highlights would be first that 2018 date in September with the first shoot, then sitting with you for Rashad. Fast forward to last November in New York, freezing in heels and a dress to take the shoot for the magazine. And then hearing, again, being around a bunch of ladies and never wanting to compete with any of my sisters, looking for something different to do, and stumbled across Miss Fashion Global. Submitting for Miss Fashion Global, and them calling me the day before my birthday, which was March the 19th, and say, we chose you to be in our 40 plus category. What you gonna do? I'm like, I mean, I want it curvy, but okay. I'll be 42 tomorrow. Okay, let's do it. So, from March to October, I was in a photo contest with 569 women. I, with the help of my village from Chester, Pennsylvania, won, bringing in $6,100. And I was crowned, well, not crowned for that, but I was named Miss Fashion Global Photo Contest Winner 2020. So with that, they paid for me to go to Florida. They got my flight, my hotel room, get down there. Due to COVID, it wasn't but maybe 350 of us. In each category, I don't remember the exact amount. All I know is I got a crown and a sash. I'm like saying to my husband the whole time, like, you remember when I just was like, I'm not a model, like this ain't what I do. And I'm like, but this was for me. It was personal. It was something outside of what everybody else was doing. Nobody heard of it locally. And it was for me to be like, all right, if you're going to be a model, sis, you need to, see what else you can do. You get down there, you do your bathing suit and your tights and your shirt from them and your dresses. And both of my dresses was made by Rashad. So you show your talents, you go down to one time, and then you told you're going to the finals. And you get to the finals and you do it again. And then you either happy or you sad at that point. Oh, yeah, you talking about a journey in 2 years. I'm like, yeah, that happened.
Because you've been back and forth to New York multiple times.
That's Rashad's second home. That's his second home. And then the weekend I did the shoot for him in New York for the magazine, I did Manhattan Model the day before. So the whole weekend I was shooting for different things. And with their set, I had like 5 different I was just like, I'm looking at my husband like, why don't nobody stop me when I be on these tangents sometimes? But they are all great experiences. Our shoot that me and Shy had Thursday was super amazing. I can't wait for that magazine.
I saw the dress. I'm like, that red dress is saying
It's the
something.
red. Yeah, it was something about the red. I thought it was the black and gold I liked the best. But at Thursday, that red talked different to me. Like, yeah, it was, I felt a little bit more like a superhero or something. I had a little cape flying in the wind. Yeah, but the experience of Miss Fashion Global, again, was something that was just personal. It was for, again, to show my young brand ambassadors and younger women, like, you can do whatever. You just got to want to do it. And if you don't succeed at that particular time, the L that it is a lesson. It's definitely not a loss. Because you can network with other people, and they can have other opportunities for you that will be greater. You know what I said? American Idol. Fantasia didn't win American Idol. Neither did Jennifer Hudson. Neither did, it was one more person. Yet, look at their careers after American Idol. That exposure still works for you. That networking still works for you. You gotta choose your L, that's all. You lost that situation. You didn't lose all the way around the board.
You didn't lose the lesson.
Yeah, like you didn't lose at the game altogether because you still got the exposure. The world still got to see you. You still was able to show who you were. And people was watching. Maybe not the people you wanted to be watching, but that's probably because it just wasn't for you. You gotta pick your L's. And that's what Miss Fashion Global taught me too. Because just some of the ladies that didn't win, maybe this wasn't for you. You know, I give them my business card. You could be a brand ambassador for Thick Girls Is Fly. You know, just contact me. All these women are from all over the place. I'm down there networking. Like, we can all still build. You can still do. I mean, I'm not as big as Miss Fashion Global yet, but come get your shovel. Start at the ground with me. It'll work. So I'm looking forward to some feedback from some of the ladies at least, but we'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And just think, if you wouldn't have never started all that you've accomplished in this 2 years. And I guess that's one of the things people have to think about. You think about what you can't do, but think about what you can do.
If you just try. The only thing that stops us is fear of failing. So don't be scared to learn a lesson. Again, it just got to be where your L lies at. That's it. Learn a lesson instead of harboring on the loss that you may have took. If it wasn't really a financial, I mean, sometimes you take financial losses too, but you've learned from that still. It's just always still a lesson in it. So take a chance. That's what they said on Coming to America, right there, lady? Take a chance, honey. Go right ahead and take a chance. Why not?
Bet on you. Come
Definitely
on.
bet on you. Because you 9 out of 10 already supported and betting on others. You know what I'm saying? And you was there to either motivate them. Why can't you do the same thing for yourself? If you think you can, you already halfway there. You just got to believe the rest of the way.
That is so true. Whew, this time is flying, but I want you to think about those brand ambassadors that you haven't met yet, who haven't started but are thinking about it. What would be some words of encouragement to them?
You just said it, bet on you. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is that you fail. And even if you fail at that particular situation, you still got the experience, you still learned a lesson, and you still network with some people along the way. You can do it. Just do it. just do it. That's the best thing I can even say right now. Because it's enough. I mean, what you gonna lose? How much can you lose? The worst, so either you want to lose whatever time you put into it or regret never ever doing it. I don't want to live with no regrets. So it's up to you how you want to live. Like I said last night, everybody, to live doesn't mean you're alive.